2025 has delivered a wild year for video games. Blockbusters, indie gems, bold experiments, and somewhere between all that loud marketing and flashy trailers is a game that quietly crept up on a lot of people. A game rooted in realism, history, and sometimes brutal honesty. That game is Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2. Today, that very game is up for one of the biggest honours in gaming, Game of the Year. So in this video, we're diving into why that's a big deal, what pushed KCD2 into the spotlight, and whether it really belongs amongst the heavyweights. I'm your host Dan, let's get into it. For those that are new to the series, Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 is a sequel to the 2018 open-world medieval RPG. It's not about dragons or magic, instead it builds on realism, historical immersion, and grounded storytelling. You walk through castles and villages, fight with swords, navigate political intrigue. Every decision matters. The game launched earlier this year and quickly became one of the most talked about RPGs of 2025. According to its developers, it sold over 1 million copies on day one, a strong indicator that interest was high right from the start. But what really sets it apart for many players is its ambition. It's aimed to create a believable medieval world, from realistic swordplay to believable politics, immersive side quests, and a living world that reacts to you. This year, the Game Awards 2025 has included Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 in its shortlist for Game of the Year. That nomination is significant for several reasons. For one, the competition is fierce. KCD2 is up against major entries across very different genres, from fantastical action adventures to indie gems. For another, it marks an important moment for the developer, Warhol Studios, a studio outside the traditional AAA heavyweights that still managed to deliver a title compelling enough to stand beside the giants. In short, being nominated means recognition. For a grounded historical RPG to earn that spotlight among blockbusters and stylized titles, that alone makes the nomination a big win.
Drinks are on the house!
Okay, so what makes KCD2 worthy of this nomination? Here are the big strengths, often highlighted by players and critics alike. Immersive realism and historical detail. The world feels lived in. NPC behaviours, guard routines, social dynamics, things you rarely see handled with this level of detail. One fan even described a guard's AI reacting realistically when players stole his belongings, only for him to wake up confused in the morning and ask for his shoes back. Narrative depth and role-playing flexibility. The story isn't a linear point A to point B affair. Choices you make in conversations, in morality, in how you approach quests, have consequences. That kind of agency lends weight to your actions, and small details accumulate into memorable experiences. Community love and developer support. Players have responded strongly, praising everything from realistic world building to music and ambience. And from the developer side, their commitment to polish and storytelling shines through. Many in the community have publicly voiced support for the game's nomination and award recognition. All these factors combined bring KCD2 into a space where it can stand shoulder to shoulder with the best games this year. But of course, it's not all smooth sailing. There are a few reasons some people question whether KCD2 truly belongs among Game of the Year nominees. The niche appeal. Because KCD2 leans heavily into realism and historical grounding, it might not resonate with players who prefer more fantastical, stylized, or action-heavy games. The slower, more nuanced pacing isn't for everyone. Technical and design trade-offs. Ambitious realism and immersion can sometimes come at the cost of accessibility or streamlined gameplay. Some players find the combat or the social simulation mechanics clunky or less polished compared to blockbuster AAA titles. This was also a recurring criticism of its predecessor. Heavy competition. As mentioned before, this year's Game of the Year list includes games across multiple genres, many with massive budgets, established fan bases, or distinct, bold visions. Standing out, let alone winning, is a tall order. KCD2 appeals strongly to a certain kind of gamer, but that very specificity can also limit its universal draw. If KCD2 wins, or even just if it raises its profile, the implications go beyond one studio or one title. It could signal that historical, realistic RPGs have a place amongst the biggest games of the year. That can encourage more studios to take risks, ditch the sword and sorcery tropes, and explore grounded storytelling. Although the studio isn't independent anymore, it will boost the visibility of independent and mid-sized studios. Warhorse isn't a blockbuster developer, but their Game of the Year nomination proves high-quality, ambitious games don't need massive budgets to make a mark. It also helps diversify what great games look like. If KCD2 gets the recognition, future Game of the Year considerations may include more than just spectacle, graphics, and big-name franchises. This nomination, win or lose, could shift expectations and open doors. So, does Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 deserve to win Game of the Year? I think it absolutely deserves a seat at the table. Its ambition, realism, and attention to detail set it apart. But whether it wins will depend on whether the judges and players value that kind of grounded, immersive RPG as much as spectacle-driven titles. I want to hear what you think. Did you play KCD2 this year? Do you think its nomination is justified? Drop a comment below. If you like this video, hit like, consider subscribing for more content, and share it with your friends who love RPGs or medieval games. Thanks for watching, and until next time, may your sword stay sharp and your choices always matter.